Okay, kicking into this etheric balance. So energetically, okay. So head up this end, feet up that end. So I am now 100% Jeremy. I am now 100% Jeremy. I am now 100% Jeremy. Okay, let's see where we need to start. Okay, are we in? Yes. Okay, so do we need to start with adrenal, survival, deep survival, hidden deep survival? So there's a hidden deep survival pattern. Do we need to go celestial circuit? Nope, not yet. So deep survival pattern, is that the priority? Yes, it is. Do we need any affirmations online? No, we don't. So let's just start with the deep hidden survival pattern. So the unconscious brain is in control, and it's making it so that it's harder for you to even access the fact that there's a survival pattern running. It's trying to hide that from you. My chart was covered up. Okay. So is this stored in the EMC, MMC, PVSS, the paraventricular survival system? So this is when there's sensory overload going on, which obviously was partly where addictions come from. When there's so much sensory overload, we need something to calm the farm. Okay, so the first little area showing up is called the anterior cingulate gyrus. It's a part of the brain where a lot of fears and traumas are stored, and then that really affects the way that we put ourselves out to the world socially. Olympic City 21 GB, okay. Okay, so the amygdala is locked into pain and punishment, so we need to calm that down. So hidden deep survival patterns. It's trying to hide the stress from you. It's trying to make it so it's unavailable to you. And the anterior cingulate gyrus is the part of the brain that picks on ourselves when we're not perfect under stress. Okay, so running that central meridian, feeding that conscious brain. Tapping the head, tapping the heart. Anything else in the PVSS? Yes, there is. Okay. Second little area showing up is the orbitofrontal cortex. So this is the little area to do with conflict. So quite often, when we know we're doing something that isn't good for ourselves, like, having addictions, part of the brain knows that we shouldn't be, but another part of the brain is going like, well, blow it, it makes me feel good. And I feel so crap a lot of the time. Why would I not do what makes me feel good? Because it's that hedonistic, immediate gratification that we want. Sometimes as human beings, we just don't want to put in the hard yards. And this is escape submission free, so the brain would rather escape than have to pay attention to conflict in the brain. That old conflict, should I, shouldn't I, will I, won't I? It just doesn't want to go there. Okay, once again, yep. Okay, so the next little area showing up is the subclausal gyrus. So therefore, this is the trifecta, the orbitofrontal cortex, the anterior cingulate gyrus, the subclausal gyrus. Subclausal gyrus is to do with the spectrum of anger. So, Big City 22, kidney ones. Okay, and this one is locked into rage and anger, so rage, anger, frustration, which of course is a much more useful emotion than depression. At least when we're angry, we're getting words out, we're speaking our truth, even if that truth is angry at the time, and it's much more useful than being depressed. It's much more useful than going into freeze. Not very pleasant to be around, but you know, none of us want to be in this place, you know, when we're feeling like that, and everyone goes through it. Okay. Okay. Next little area showing up is the reticular activating system. So the RAS lives in behind the brain stem, and it is controlling the hormones that are released when something new comes into our world. Yeah, okay. So at the moment, without any supplements online, because I always start with that, minus any supplements, minus any medication, minus any addictions. So without all that online, there's low serotonin going on. Yeah, right. And the serotonin is making you want to run away, hide in your room. It's when you need that mental space just to get by. So we need to calm that down so that serotonin isn't dangerous anymore. Your brain's going, no, 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 no. If I relax and I be calm and I look after myself, then the brain is thinking of that as dangerous. Okay, so we need to reactivate the serotonin and stop the need for running away. Okay, they're pulsing nicely. Okay, there's another RAS circuit, another reticular activating system. Okay, so this time it's noradrenaline. There's noradrenaline running, so that's the assumption of long-term stress in the body, and that's creating a vigilance in the nervous system. And part of the reason why we end up with addictions is because we just need to calm the farm. We need to calm that central nervous system down because it's just heightened and highly wired. Yeah, that vigilance is really stuck. It doesn't feel like it's moving very easily. You're right. Yawn. Yeah, I was chatting to people over the weekend about teaching kinesiology, and I was chatting about a friend of mine who burps when she's a kinesiologist, and so her way of not taking on people's stuff as a kinesiologist is by burping. And I remember when I used to send people to her like 10, 15, 20 years ago, and they'd say, oh man, your poor friend, you know, she was burping like a crazy thing. And I'd say, oh sweetie, the more she burps, the worse your energy was. There we go, we've got that shifting. Beautiful. So yeah, so that was too much noradrenaline, expectation of long-term stress, creating too much vigilance in the nervous system, so the nervous system just waiting for the next thing to go wrong. Oh my goodness, another RAS circuit. So your RAS is a bit of a mess at the moment, actually. Okay, so again, it's noradrenaline, so the expectation of long-term stress. And this time, the RAS is switching down the serotonin. So, you know, all of these hormones affecting each other, but everything's trying to make it so you don't just relax and be happy, because if you relax and be happy, then the tiger's going to pounce. So a lot of the reticular activating system and moro reflex and primitive reflex work is about keeping you safe. And is the tiger in the room, so you have to be vigilant, or is the tiger in a family down and around the corner, you never know where they are, but you know they're there somewhere. So that the expectation of stress, the expectation of trauma. So our brains are the same as they were 10,000 years ago. We're just not coping with current traumas on the planet. And of course all the EMFs and Wi-Fi's and, you know, all the stuff going on. It's a little bit of a challenge. Okay, so that's the first little circuit of the survival pattern stuff. Where do we need to go next? Okay, so we need to do a tuning fork combination. So I'm going to stop it and start again for part 2 for the tuning fork combo.